Hi again, everybody. Hi again, and welcome everybody to another Catch Up with Mayo on a Saturday. Good to sense you all here because I don't see you, but I sense you, and of course, in the comments, I can see you in the comments. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm all ready to go. I've been looking forward to this all day. So now let's do it and say hello to some people. Hello, Brad. Congratulations on the Dylan box set. Nice video review. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to have gotten it. I've been looking for that Zimmerman 10 of Swords for a long time, as you know. Hello, James. You say happy birthday month. This is not my birthday month, but thank you anyway. I appreciate that. Hello, Ram. How you doing? What's going on? Good afternoon to you. Hi, George. Hello. Hello, hello. Mike Waljasper, hello. Good to see you. Hi, Gary. I say spectacular weather here in Pennsylvania. Well, we got nice sunny weather here. It was a little breezy, though, a little breezier than I like it. You know, it's hard to get spring, but sometimes you get a nice spring day, and other times it's like March still in May. You know, James, what's going on, James? Hello. Thank you for joining us here. And I am looking forward to our time here today. I've got my famous alien green cup with my water in it. And here we go. You know what I have to do? I've been doing this long enough. 6 years, I think. It'll be 6 years. I think in August or so. It'll be 6 years that I've been doing live streams. You think I will know by now that I should have something to talk about in case it gets a little dull while I'm waiting for people to come on. But okay, so I hear the one-to-one documentary is available for digital download now. That's what I've heard. Of course, that means nothing to me. I don't care about digital downloads, but I'm glad a lot of people will be able to watch it who haven't seen it. You know, I want the Blu-ray or DVD, physical media. Hi, Dino. Doing good. Hope you're doing good. Hello, Bradley. Ollie, what's going on, Ollie? Ollie, the one that wants me to give up meat in the comments. Not happening. Not happening. Yeah, Mr. Blood Vessel, what's going on? Did you ever think we'd see a U.S. Pope? Well, to tell you the truth, two things don't interest me that interest everybody else. Number one is the Pope. I don't care about the Pope. You know, even as a Catholic, even as somebody, well, I consider myself Christian, but I was raised Catholic. But the Pope and also royalty. When people say, look at this, it's the new prince and the prince and princess are on TV and the new royal family, I couldn't care less. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you that from time to time, I find out, didn't know at first that the Pope was never a U.S. Pope before. I didn't know that. Now that everybody's telling me that, I realize it. You know, obviously. You do look fitter and healthier. Well, thanks very much. I'm feeling it. And I think it's working. Everything's working. As some of you know, I was doing a weight loss journey video series I started, and sometime this month I'll give you an update. I have only one video up so far, and I'm still on it. Nice Dylan pickup. Thanks. Of course, people are referring to the box set, the Dylan 10 of Swords 10 LP set from 1985 that I've been looking for a long time. Even though you had the DVD of any movie, were you astounded at the quality of the Blu-ray version when you got the Blu-ray of any certain movie? Well, a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I mean, the movie that I just put on my movie channel, I'm going to flash it by here. Everybody, subscribe to Mr. Cinemayo below. Mr. Cinemayo for movies and TV. I just put a review up of The Killer Shrews. You have to like horror movies for that. Killer Shrews. Just put it up at Mr. Cinemayo. And the Blu-ray looks phenomenal. I mean, that was a pretty, poor movie. It's fun, but not technically a good movie, but it's fun. And all the prints of that movie have looked lousy, and now the new Blu-ray looks amazing on it, So, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. All right. I'll take this banner off now. I don't like leaving the banners up too long. There you go. That's enough. I think I made the point there. Oh, no. Another movie channel name change? Well, yes and no. I mean, I've had Mr. Cinemayo for a long time. It's the longest title I've kept on the movie channel. I did have Mr. Cinemayo Nostalgia. I decided to clip the nostalgia off because, I don't know, just a little long. You know what I mean? The only royal family that matters to me, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Well said, Andy. Well said. I hear you, Joe. I remember watching the royal wedding, not Charles and Diana, that same night Bride of Frankenstein was on. Yeah. Bride of Frankenstein for me. Hi, Robbie. What's going on? Robbie, Detroit's Vinyl. It's Grandpa Daycare today for you. My daughter is at work. Okay. Take care of those children. Salud. Will we get Carnival of Light in the new anthology? Nobody knows. I can't say whether I believe we will. I can't make a prediction because I don't know. But, as I always say when it comes up, Carnival of Light, from the very few that have heard it, says it's so bad it's not worth even listening to. So I wouldn't care if it never came out, honestly, even though generally I want all the Beatles-related stuff that they did to come out, If you had a split-screen TV, would you use it? I think it would depend on what I was watching. I don't generally like split screen with a lot of different things to watch at the same time. What do you think Ralph Cramden would say to the Pope? Bang, zoom. I guess. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. If anybody watches, I don't know how many of you out there watch my talk show that I do about movies over on the other channel, Mr. Cinemayo. I'm going to try a new time for them. Anybody watching this right now, I'm going to try to do them Monday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, there's always somebody that likes a certain time, and other people who don't like it. For some people that watch the movie show, 8:30 p.m. Monday nights will be perfect for them, Eastern time. Other people will say that's terrible for me. I live in England. I can't watch it. It's I have to do something. I had to change the time. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see. It's always interchangeable. I can always go back. It's flexible. If it doesn't work. From what I've heard, Carnival of Light will probably be a big letdown if it's ever released. Well, that's what I've heard too. That's why I'm saying I don't care if it never gets released, honestly. Heard nothing but bad. Of course, we have to all decide for ourselves. There's no point in just making our opinions up just based on what other people have said. We have to hear it for ourselves before we know. Same thing with movies, music, anything. But we shall see what we shall see, or hear what we shall hear. There's a lot of other stuff, outtakes and things by the Beatles that I'd rather hear than Carnival of Light. You know, I mean, I just would be happy just to get a lot of studio outtakes that we haven't heard from the first album all the way through, I guess, Rubber Soul now. Monday night makes me think of Talk More Talk. Yes, I think Talk More Talk will be back fairly soon, I think. But I have no idea exactly when the date is yet. Yeah, Talk More Talk used to be on Monday nights live, you know. It's not live anymore. Who knows what that song is? I gotta try to do it again. I can't whistle for crap. Let's see. Okay. So after a few months, where does Look Up fit into your Ringo albums? It's one of Ringo's best albums. I put it as his second best album after the self-titled Ringo album. Nothing's changed. It is a great, solid album through and through from start to finish. Great songs, great musicianship, great help from his friends. Everything on there comes together, and I still think it's one of the greatest albums in Ringo's entire catalog from day one. Any updates on you and Beatley Tone going to Chicago Fest? Well, Beatley Tone was here, I think, on my last week on the stream, and I think he said that he's definitely going. And I said this before, you know, with me, it's like 50-50. I've got a hotel reservation in case I'm going. I can always cancel that if I decide not to go. But, you know, money is really tight, and it's going to be expensive to go to the Chicago Fest. Between hotel and between plane fare, I got to take airplane round trip, all that, you know, and then the cost of the actual Beatle Fest tickets, you know. So I may not go. That's all I could say. Right now it's 50-50, but I have to start deciding because I have to get my plane reservations. And the thing is, one of the main reasons that I would want to go this time to Chicago is because Beatley Tone's going to be there for his very first fest for Beatles fans. And I'd like to meet Beatley Tone. I've never met him before. He's going to be there. That's what he says. And if it works out, that'd be terrific. But it just may be too tight. And to tell you the truth, I have other pressing things financially that I have to take care of. I'm going to have to get some new eyeglasses in the next months. And these glasses, there's something up with these glasses. I had them 2.5 years and they're getting foggy. No matter how much you clean them, they stay kind of fogged. I think maybe the surface or the finish or whatever they coat it with or whatever is getting weak. That's my guess. Yeah, it's funny. It's 3 months. It's only 3 months until the Chicago Fest, and I still don't have up the list of who's going to be there on the site. Can't believe that. 3 months and you don't have the list of who's going to be there. Do you still have Murray the K45? Sure, I do. I have 2 copies of it, actually, just by coincidence. Thoughts on Planet Terror? I last saw Planet Terror in the movie theater. I saw it as the Grindhouse double feature. Rodriguez did Planet Terror, and Quentin Tarantino did the other one, Death Proof. I like Death Proof. Planet Terror was all right. I only saw Planet Terror one time. But anyway, I thought it was pretty good. And yes, I love that gore trash B movie stuff. That's why you got to go over to my channel, Mr. Cinemayo. Does the Criterion issue of Scarface have any bonus features? I'm a big fan of Paul Muni. So far, I only have Scarface on a DVD back here, the original one. And Boris Karloff is in it, Paul Muni. I don't have the Criterion Scarface. I'm guessing Tom Hunyadi does, but I don't know. You do the best Archie Bunker I've ever heard. I love how the show could take you from side-splitting laughter 1 second and emotionally charged sadness the next. I'm looking for my Archie Bunker thing here to use. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Let's do this. There you go. Geez, Jimmy says, There you go. There's your Archie for the day. Only one. I just happened to find that I have a drawer down here. I happened to find that in the drawer. Okay. Let's see. Do the Beatle Fest have the same stalls, owners, and bands if they have a few? Do they get a bit samey? Yeah, they get a samey. They have the same. When you say owners, I don't know if you mean dealers, salespeople, and they don't have the same bands usually. Some of the bands are the same, and some of them are different. They always have different bands there. Do you think this will truly be the Who's final tour, or that they will be back again in 2 years? I hope it's the end. Not for nothing, but they it's not the first time they said it was going to be their last tour, right? Hello, I'm going to say Jorge. Hopefully that's the right pronunciation. But greetings to Bolivia, South America. That's pretty amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you for tuning in. 60 watching and only 8 likes. Hit the like button. Please do. Please hit the like button if you're so compelled. Have you seen The Man Who Would Be King? Yeah, I'm not. That's the kind of topics I'm just not into. I like Sean Connery and I like Michael Caine, and I guess I like Christopher Plummer as well. But the subject matter it just keeps me away. They said it was going to be their last in 1982. I remember that. Yeah, and you saw them that time. The Who. Yeah. Have you watched any episodes of Outer Limits yet? No, I don't have a set of it. I just found out. I didn't realize. Maybe somebody told me, but I'd forgotten. I think Kino Lorber put it out. Am I right about that? The company Kino Lorber. I think they put out the Outer Limits set. So something to think about. Strange seeing Zimmerman on a Dylan box set. I wonder if he hates that sort of thing. Well, he said in the song, "Gotta serve somebody. You can call me Zimmy." That's all I know about that. Great movie. Hello, Uncle Paul. Afternoon. Digging into my Beatles archives continues this weekend, getting and finding items packed away 50 years ago. Ain't that so? I'm telling you, I got stuff there 40, 50 years in in these closets, magazines. I know one thing I'm going to be getting rid of is a whole bunch of Beatles magazines. Shock! Oh, really? I'm maybe not so many of the original Beatle magazines from the 60s. But retro magazines, things like when, John Lennon was killed, and the next week there were 200 magazines celebrating tributes to John, those kind of things, because they've been in the closet for 45 years, those magazines. Some of them, occasionally, there's things that you look at, and you enjoy, And there's other things that you have too much stuff. That's it. You're going to do hold on. Okay. Oh, wait, where is it? Are you going to do a review of That'll Be the Day? For those who don't know, that's a Ringo movie, and it's considered Ringo's best movie, his best performance and his best movie. I think David Essex is in it too, right? I have the movie. I own it, and I've seen it once a long time ago, and I liked it. I'd have to see it again to do a review of it. I'm always stuck because I want to put movies on my movie channel, but if it's a movie about the Beatles, I want to have it on the Beatles channel. That's why I put the Magic Christian with Ringo, the review for that movie, here on Mean Mr. Mayo. But I did something different. I made 2 different reviews, two separate reviews, one for the movie channel and one for here. They're not the same video used twice. No, they're 2 separate videos, 2 takes on it. Oh, you found that's fantastic. I remember that. I had that. That's a great mirror. Yeah. I had that in 77 when I was 15. I had that as a 15-year-old in my room. I wonder if his license says Dylan or Zimmerman, or if Prince had the symbol. That'll Be the Day features Ringo. The sequel, Stardust, also has parallels to the Beatles, too. I've never seen Candy. Everybody's telling me to see it. I know a couple of people told me. And I hear it's supposed to be so crazy. Not that good, but I remember seeing Night of the Living Dead in the 60s. There were gruesome scenes of body parts being eaten. I was young and don't remember any disclaimers. That wouldn't happen today. Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, these days, anything goes. These days, nobody cares about anything. Did your perspective change at all after watching the entire Lost in Space series? I'm going to try to do, by the way, for what it's worth, over at my movie channel, Mr. Cinemayo, I'm going to try to get into doing some Lost in Space videos of some episodes. I haven't finished it yet. I'm still on the third and final season. It hasn't really changed. I always thought the first season was very good. I still think the first season is very good. I always thought the second season sucked balls, so to speak, except for a handful of good episodes, and that only got confirmed. And so far, the third season is my favorite, and it's always been my favorite. I think it's better than the second, and pretty much it's the same. Probably watching The Magic Christian back then, everyone was far out. It probably made some sort of sense. Well, like I say, even though The Magic Christian was crazy, it was convoluted, it was kind of boring here and there, but it picked up later. I thought, even though that was the case for me personally, I still found that when it was over, I kept thinking about it. I want to see it again. So that says something. I've never seen Wonderwall. No, never seen it. My favorite line in Night of the Living Dead, the original, was Johnny's got the keys. Would you say you have more CDs than vinyl? Oh boy, you make me think here. I think I have more vinyl than CDs right now, but that's going to change because, I told you a year ago was something I was going to purge vinyl, and I have gotten rid of vinyl, but I stopped. Now that the weather's getting nice and we're going to have the spring and the summer, I'm going to be going back and getting rid of more. But then again, as you can see, I keep on bringing stuff in too, because I just happen to have this bad boy right here. Zimmerman, 10 of Swords, the box set with 10 LPs. This is a holy grail that I've been looking for. And I did a video on it. If you want to see the video, what makes it so special to me. I've been looking for this for many, 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 many years. What did you think of Laughing? I think back at the time, I was a kid, I think I even had a Laugh-In lunchbox. I think when I went to school, I had a Laugh-In lunchbox. Either I had a Laugh-In lunchbox in first or second grade, or somebody I know had it. But whatever it is, I remember seeing a lunchbox in the cafeteria. Anyway, we thought it was very funny as kids back in the 60s. But you talk about things that are dated, which I don't like. I don't use the word that often. But I just find that Laughing is kind of a flop now. Whenever I see Laughing reruns, I think I don't see what was such a big. I think they kind of stupid, or that's not the word, because the Three Stooges are stupid, and I love that. It's just very old fashioned right now, and I don't know. It's not funny anymore. Laughing to me. Speaking of Beatles mags, I ran across a couple of issues of The Right Thing with help from my friends. 2 of the Beatles newsletter fan club mags. Had a lot of those, but sold them years ago. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm just not going to look at this stuff. The whole thing was when you were younger, when I was younger, you say, well, I'm in my teens, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s. When I get to be like 60 or 60 something and I retire, then I'll have all this time on my hands. All the time in the world to get to these things. All the time has come, and I don't do it, and I'm not going to do it. Life is too short. Some things I will get to. That's why, I buy things like, if I move a little bit here, you can see the Ringo. There's a bad glare on it. Ringo's Rotogravure next to my head. That's a new display thing that I bought, and I can look at that. I can see that. I can enjoy it. So there you go. Did you know that you were challenged on Harry's Music Room for a Beatles trivia contest? No, I didn't know that. And it's weird because at the moment I know who that is, but I don't know who that is. It's weird. Like, I feel like I know who that is, but yet I don't. Harry's Music Room. Sounds. Why am I drawing a blank? The Laugh-In Lunchbox is quite a collectible. Sure. Barb Fennick ran the right thing. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Have you ever seen an item and bought it on a whim for a friend in your circle simply because you knew they would love it? Well, yeah, I've done that before plenty of times. Most recently, a couple of years ago, I bought. It was a figure of I think a homemade kind of figure thing of Paul McCartney that I thought Tom Hunyadi would appreciate, if not love it necessarily, but appreciate it. Back in the 70s, I used to order my Beatles bootlegs through mail order from Rock and Roll University. Any thoughts on the Darren McGavin, Mike Hammer TV series? No, I have not. Darren McGavin, I love him as the Night Stalker. That's about all I could say. I mean, I've seen him in other things. He didn't do anything for me in A Christmas Story. Sorry, fans of A Christmas Story. Didn't do anything for me in that. He was all right. He's all right. Darren McGavin, cool dude he was, but he wasn't awful. If you suddenly became a millionaire, what would be the first thing you would do? I think I'd have to get a lawyer. That's an interesting question, Lila. And of course, a lot of times you have very interesting questions. When it comes to winning the lottery or being rich, I don't know if any of you would agree with this out there. Maybe I could make a video about this. This is a Mayo's musings, things I'm thinking about. I don't want to be really, really rich. If I won the lottery, I'd be happy winning like $500,000 or 400, something like that. I don't want like $80 million or something like that. Not at this stage of the game. If I was 25, yeah, maybe 30. Okay. At this stage of the game, just give me like anywhere between 200,000, even 200,000, 600,000 in there, anywhere in there. And I'll just put that in the savings to use the rest of my life. I just want to be comfortable and buy some Beatles stuff because it's a real headache. And if you win the lottery, it's a big freaking deal. You saw those shows where people says, "Oh, the lottery ruined my life," and stuff like that. So I'd like to win, but not that much money. Okay. Let's see. What's your favorite song between Madman and Watching Rainbows? Probably Madman. Of those two. First time I saw bootlegs was at a Dallas record store called Metamorphosis around 76. I bought 3 Beatles boots, white covers with 8x10 pieces of paper attached. Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia to that. Even though it's just, white cardboard with mimeograph carbon copy photos on it. There's still one that I'm looking for. And I hope to find it someday. One of the first bootlegs I got was called Come Back, K-U-M, Come Back. And but it has to be the right one with the right cover. It had a mimeograph cover. It was on blue copy paper. It was on blue, like a blue sheet paper. And it had black and white carbon copy photo of the Beatles. I think when they're sitting on the lawn in 1968 or something. I think that's the first one. Yeah, and that's what I want. And it was also on King Kong Records. I mean, the thing is, I've seen that, by the way, Matthew. I've seen the Comeback one many times with different covers and different records. I want the one that's on the red King Kong label. I want the exact one that I had. Yeah, I think I know who he is now. I think I know who he is. Is he the older guy with the longish hair? Is he the older guy with the longish hair? I think I know who he is now. If you've seen a really cheap, fully working Laserdisc player, would you buy it? Absolutely not. No, I'm not a Laserdisc guy. I am a Blu-ray DVD guy, and with all the stuff that I've got these days, I don't need that. Excessive money doesn't buy happiness. All money is good for is making sure you can pay the bills. Well, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy some happiness. I don't agree that money can't buy doesn't buy happiness. Period. At the end of the day, I do believe, and that's the saying I'm going to say again: health is your greatest wealth. Good health is the main thing. I take health over money any day if I had to pick between the two. However, money makes it, at least with money, if you want to take care of your health, you got the money to do it. When was the last time you wrote out a bank check or a check? If you're talking about a regular check, I do them every month for the rent. You're talking about a regular everyday check. Yeah. It's not a bank check. It's just personal check. Do you remember at Roosevelt Field in the 1980s music store called Matthew Music? I remember Roosevelt Field. I don't know if I remember that particular store. I remember a store called Record World that was in there. Not seen Notting Hill. Oh, okay. The contest was held by Rachel. The guests for the contest were Harry and Mazzy. Well, too bad it's not the. I would have loved to challenge them. I would have loved to be, but in order to do that, we have to see how we have to see when that would be. I wouldn't mind. When are you coming to England? Remember, I just said it's going to be hard to scrape the money together just to go to Chicago this year. It's a matter of money, having the money, and that's the main thing, really. I like to think I'll make it there sometime before I depart this world, but I've never tried watching a Magical Mystery Tour in black and white. Why would I do that? It's hard enough to watch in color. Well, having said that, I do enjoy Magical Mystery Tour. I've gotten to the point where I enjoy Magical Mystery Tour very much as a psychedelic time capsule trip back to that era in '67. I can enjoy it for what it is rather than all the things it's not. I also enjoy Magical Mystery Tour as kind of like an album video of the album. Slow movie year so far. Hasn't been anything I've wanted to see since Nosferatu, which is just okay, and the Dylan movie. Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want to see anything. I have no desire to see anything new in the movie theaters. No. I mean, sometimes there's horror related stuff that I like in the genres that I like. The horror industry has been getting better. New movies. I mean, that's a genre that's they're making decent movies again. Oh, I don't even like thinking about this, Gary. I don't even like thinking about it. Only had 6 months to live. What things would you want to do after you got over the shock? Knowing me, it would be like nothing, man. I just would sit there and mope. Just, but the thing to do would be to take care of whatever your business is. I don't even want to think about it. Take care of whatever business is at hand or your affairs. That's the word I'm looking for. Your affairs. God. Well, that's what I try to do now. See, the thing that's hard for me about that enjoy life is that since I was a child, so much of what I do to enjoy life has to do with having things like not forever. Nobody lives forever, but for many, 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 many years to come. Like I'll give you an example. I remember a guy once that was online once on some movie forum, and there was a DVD coming out that was going to be released that had never been on DVD before. The man was terminal; he was going to die shortly, and he was all excited, saying, "Oh, this movie's coming out! I can't wait to get it." I'm thinking, what? Who cares? What do you care about the movie for? You're not gonna be here. We watch it once and that's it. Now I know that the idea is supposed to be, just enjoy every day because none of us knows. And I hate talking like this because I worry about irony, and superstition and stuff like that. None of us knows. Of course, you have to live every day to the fullest. I try to. We all try to. Try to have the most good time. We all know that's the case. But I can't understand. Like I last like if I had 6 months of somebody said, "Oh, there's going to be a rare Beatles thing coming out like next month," I'd be like, "Who cares?" you know, maybe that's the wrong attitude. The attitude is okay. Enjoy it while you can for a month or two. I don't get it. Um, yeah, I know. Boxing Day, Magical Mystery Tour was shown in black and white. Absolutely, that's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to go to the movies weekly in like the 1980s, and not anymore. Did you know that all the bootleg copies of Let It Be came from my Laserdisc? No, I did not know that. Unfortunately, the next new movies I'm looking forward to are the Beatles movies years from now. I'm not even looking forward to those. I'm not even looking forward to those, honestly. Who is your favorite actress? I always say Meryl Streep. I think she's the best actress, you know. Um, yeah, probably. Every day is the first day of the rest of your life. If you know your end is, be thankful every day you wake up. Hey, here we go. Mick 64. The last new movie I've seen is a National Treasure movie from the mid 2000s. I gave up on new movies and especially movie theaters. Yeah, I find it astonishing. I can't believe how I've had more rude, careless, selfish people in movie theaters since COVID, say the last 5 years, than I had my entire life of going to the movies. People have gotten worse, not better. For some reason, they think it's their own personal playgrounds. They think they're in their own house. They can talk. They can put their phone on. I don't remember that happening that much in the past. It's only the last several years. It's gotten worse. Okay, Patrick. I'm sorry. The timing. Like I said, the timing is not always that good. I know you don't like Queen that much, but do you have some songs you like? You mean from Queen? I like Best Friend. I like, another one, Bites the Dust. I mean, I like, I hate Bohemian Rhapsody. Can't stand it. But I do like the slow part. I just don't like the operetta part. I like the slow part, you know, that part. The questions were really hard on that quiz the other day. One of them was, what was George's favorite actress? It was Margaret Rutherford. Well, I know that because he gets interviewed. I think it's on Ready, Steady, Go. He goes, Margaret Rutherford, I think. Uh, the worst thing in the cinema is the glare of someone's phone. Yeah, even though they tell you to shut the phones off, sometimes they have a little trailer or an ad or something before that that says silence your cell phones. Don't be rude. People do it anyway, you know? Yeah. Harrison rankings? What are we talking about? There has always been clapping and cheering, albeit in good nature, in American cinemas. Here in the UK, we're mostly quiet. Well, I have a lot of good memories of when I see movies and there's an audience that properly and appreciatively joins in. Whether they laugh in the right spots, applaud in the right spots, cheer in the right spots, and those are great experiences. Are you going to be doing many flea market videos this year? I certainly hope so. I know people like the flea market videos, and I want to make sure I put content up that people like here. So I'm going to try to do that. How's Danny doing? I haven't heard from him in a while. I mean, last time I talked to him, or a few weeks ago, we talk. We talk. There's nothing wrong. We just don't do the show anymore. But I haven't heard from him, or I haven't talked to him in a while. 33 and a third for me always. George Harrison albums. I like 33 and a third quite a bit. Yeah, it's one of George's best albums, I think. I was very lucky growing up because we had two large movie theaters in my neighborhood. There were usually two feature films, some cartoons, and sometimes the Three Stooges. Yeah. Yep. Blood Vessel threatens, I'm going to start going to that flea market. Well, if you do, you'll be on the camera if I see you. When you were a child, who took or treated you to the cinema, and what did you get to eat? I don't remember what I got to eat. I just remember, there's lots of things I can say. My dad took me, my mom took me, my grandmother even took me. Is that flea market far from you? Considerably, but it's worth it to get the videos. I have this routine where I try not to eat any later than like 6:30 p.m. and then I don't eat anything till like noon the next day. I'm doing a long intermittent fasting. So the thing is, I got to get out of here, uh, kind of like 10 minutes to 6 or something like that. So I'm having salmon today, and I got to cook that up. Don't want to eat late. But better watch out for that skunk weed when going back to the flea market. Really like the video. Shall be good when more come this way. Okay, Adam. Just stay tuned. Make sure you say hi when they come on there. Buttered popcorn and Junior Mints was my movie go-to. I like Junior Mints. If I was going to buy anything when I went to the movies, it would be Junior Mints. That's usually what I'd buy. But strangely enough, when I went to the movies, I've never gone there to eat anything. I'm a very serious movie guy. When I go to the movies, to sit there, concentrate, and pay attention on the movie. The hell with eating anything. But there's been times where I had Raisinets or Junior Mints. Do you remember your first 18 certificate movie? Wow. It might be The Exorcist. I don't know. Well, the ratings are different in England than here, but I think you mean R-rated movie or restricted movie, like 1 under 17 admitted. So you have to learn how to cook now. Not really. What happens is my girlfriend, when she has the time, like she cooked a meatloaf the other day. She cooks a meatloaf and then she cuts slices and puts them in foil and puts them in the freezer, and then I heat them up. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really cooked much, but what I do is, actually, here I am saying no, and I'm going to cook the salmon I just said, but that's no big deal. I take a frying pan, I just put it in the frying pan, and I put it on, and when I think it's turn it over, when it's done through the way I like it, I'm done. That's easy, I need skunk weed, not me. What's your worst experience with a celebrity? I know I have them, and I can't think what they are. Wow. I don't know. Uma Thurman one time, she was in a limousine. She was sitting down at the David Letterman show with a friend in a limousine and parked. I mean, it's parked, and the window was open. And I peeked in there, and I had a photo, and I said, "Oh, hi, can I have your autograph?" And she looked and she looked at the photo. She goes, "No, I don't like that photo." And then they were sitting like at a buffet in a tray or something, eating in the limousine. And her girlfriend says, "Oh, come on, you look cute in that picture." She goes, "Nah, I don't like it." That was one. And I'm sure there were other ones too, but that's the first one that popped into my head, I saw Gimme Shelter and the original Let It Be in a theater. I remember them as being kind of depressing at the time. Yeah, I saw Let It Be in a theater. It was kind of depressing at the time. Gimme Shelter, I like that movie, but I've never seen it in a theater. Oh yeah. Well, I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the theater as well. Actually, that might be my first. Thank you for bringing that up. Was that an R-rated movie? If that's an R-rated movie, that could be my first, and I was only 13 then. That might be the first. My mother took me to see that. I don't know. Sure, it wasn't PG-13. Flea market vinyl was always great for me in the 80s and 90s. It was so cheap then. Has there been any songs that were banned on US radio and it's immediately sold millions? I don't know. People, let me know. I can't think right now. Uma was kind of well cast in the Avengers movie, but nothing beats the series. Yeah, she was pretty good looking in that Avengers movie. Who is the most authentic Beatle? What you see and hear is the real deal. Well, I don't think it's a surprise to me. I think it's John Lennon by far. But John and George, I think. John, George, Ringo, Paul. That's the order I'll put it in. Ringo's pretty real, too. It might be John, Ringo, George. Yes, it was rated R because my parents wanted to see it and took me even though it was R. Well, that's it then. My mom wanted me to, well, took me to see the movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that might be the first one. Thank you, Matthew. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I don't think PG-13 was invented until the 80s. Very, very, very good point. Very good point. I had salmon this week with some hard-boiled eggs. I have boiled egg steamer that does up to 6 eggs in about 8 minutes. $16 on Amazon. No sugar or carbs. Amen to that. No sugar, no carbs. Damn right. Although I had an apple for a snack this afternoon. And see, when I say no sugar, I'm talking about refined sugar. I know ideally the real diehard, experts would rather you not have any sugar, not even fruit. But I eat fruit. First R-rated movie I saw was The Longest Yard. It's Burt Reynolds, isn't it? My sister snuck me in. And please, please me, why did the Beatles go back and redo the vocal mistake? Oh, where John and Paul sing different words. I know the mistake you're talking about. What it comes down to is the stereo version has the mistake. The mono version does not have the mistake. By the way, you're in England. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, never mind that. It's only 10 p.m. there. I was thinking ahead to the movie chat. If I started the movie chat at 9 p.m., you probably wouldn't be there because it would be too late. License to Kill was the first PG-13. You talk about the James Bond movie? Eggs are very good for you, just not too many. Well, the thing is, when you don't have that many options, you got to eat eggs. I mean, that's what I eat, in the mornings. I have eggs or tuna, and you can't have that much tuna. I'm eating too much tuna because, there's mercury in fish, and I'm eating a lot of fish. So, Poseidon Adventure. Yeah, I love that movie, but I never saw it in the theater, but I do like it a lot. Just another reminder here, if you're so inclined, I'm sure everybody watching this already probably subscribed to this. I have a second channel, Mr. Cinemayo. It's more of a nostalgia channel. It's about movies. It's about television. It's about comic books, memorabilia, about collecting celebrity autographs. It's different than this channel. Mr. Cinemayo. Back then, Love Story was rated M. I thought it was rated C for cheesy. Exactly. 9 p.m. is 2 a.m. there. So, yeah. You got to see Blazing Saddles at the drive-in. Yeah, never saw that in the theater either. I had an opportunity in a revival theater to see it, but I didn't go. It was some kid's birthday party in second or third grade. I went to the Poseidon Adventure, which was just out at the time. Oh yes, I've gone to the drive-through cinema. Sure, sure. I've seen drive-through. Yes, yes, yes. Drive-in, actually. Drive-in. I love these British terms, you know. They call parking lots car parks, right? Which is cooler. My mom took me to see Tommy, and I was embarrassed because of all the drug references, but I figured it out. It's because she loved Anne Margaret. Anne Margaret, amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I'm getting a crick in my neck from sitting here. Ugh. Yeah, I saw the love bug in the movie. I remember seeing that in the drive-in when I was very young. I must have been 6 years old or something. I remember seeing that in the movie theater drive-in. I went to see a movie, and a couple sat next to me, fidgeting and moving with a pizza in its big square box. Cinema stank of their pizza. The other day, I was watching a reaction video with some young people watching Blazing Saddles. They couldn't believe what was allowed at that time. Yeah, I know. But you know what's great about even the actors, though, were okay with it. I mean, Cleavon Little was great in that movie. Fantastic. I don't think the Tommy film has aged well. Yeah, the food has been overpriced at the movie theaters for ages. People sneaking their own stuff. It's Saturday, so two ribeye steaks tonight. Oh boy. Remember, write it in here. Mick64, every time you're here, I want you to write what you always write, our slogan, so I can put it up here for the world to see or whoever's watching. Joe, how is that shoulder doing these days? Okay, but right now the neck isn't doing so good. I'm kind of leaning forward. This is what happens, you get older. Yeah, I've heard Tommy before, I believe. I like it. And here's a Mick 64 with the comment. Remember this: meat, the natural human diet. Have you ever seen a concert on the cinema, Joe? Yeah, I saw a rock show there, the McCartney and Wings one I've seen. There must have been other ones too, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment. At least I came up with rock show right away. Well, don't forget, I just saw what was it? Help me here. I can't think. One to one. It's not a full concert. Thanks, James. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. And start somewhere, right? The new Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii film is depressing too. It looks and sounds great, but very broody. What midnight films do you remember seeing? Oh wow. I think I saw Animal House at midnight, even though it's not a midnight movie. Oh, geez. I remember sneaking out of the house once when I was living with my grandparents and going. It was around 1977 or so, 76 or 77, sneaking out to see something called Beatles Around the World, which was rare. It was a midnight show, and it was rare clips and performances of the Beatles, that you never got to see usually. Yeah, somebody asked me this before, and the thing is, I've always said this, and it's the truth. Even though look, I love snacks, but uh, when I would go to a movie theater, I look at it as I'm just going there because I want to watch the movie. I'm not interested in snacks. But if I have anything, it's usually Junior Mints. Usually, do you remember a movie theater in Uniondale called the Mini Cinema? I've heard of it. Isn't that the one that showed a lot of midnight movies? I think I heard of it. I saw Pink Floyd live at Pompeii along with Yellow Submarine in my local theater. I saw Pink Floyd Pompeii at a midnight movie back around 79. Let it be a year or two before that, among others. Give me shelter. Rocky Horror at the Mini Cinema in Uniondale. Yeah. I saw Night of the Living Dead. 1979. I don't know if it was midnight. It might have been midnight. First midnight movies I remember: Rocky Horror and Eraserhead. Yeah, midnight movies are generally certain types of movies, like this one, for example, Rocky Horror Picture Show. What's your opinion? I saw it, I think, once. Not, I didn't see it in the movie theater. But I remember thinking I like some of the music. I especially like the Time Warp song, but the movie didn't do much for me itself. But I guess it's supposed to be an immersive experience and a group experience when you get into all the acting out the movie and all this stuff. Woodstock, getting out at 4 a.m. Oh, another midnight movie I saw. It's not officially a midnight movie, but I actually went with my girlfriend when I first started going with her to see a double feature of Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2 at a midnight theater. And, she really liked it. I think she liked it because of the Uma Thurman character was, a tough warrior, and, she held her own. I saw Son of Dracula with Harry and Ringo once on a really low quality VHS tape. It was such bad quality I couldn't really give an opinion of it. I always say I remember that I did like one of the songs. I can't remember what song it was. I don't know what song it was. Did you ever go to a movie where they had scratch and sniff cards like pink flamingos? I'm thinking I might have, but I can't remember. There's lots of movies I went to that had gimmicks like that. Yeah. I did see Let It Be around 19 after. I don't know if it was before or after 1981. After John passed, um, I saw a midnight showing of Let It Be once. Isn't this crazy that I can't remember? I seem to have a memory of going to the store late at night, to get Beatles anthology, but I don't remember waiting on a line. I have this memory of going to Tower Records when Tower Records still existed, of course, and to get the new anthology, and it was really late at night. Why I can't? Every time people ask me this, I don't know. I usually have a very good memory for these kinds of things, but for some reason with the anthology, I can't remember if I didn't stand online though. I don't remember. This sounds familiar. Video nasties. If it's well, anyway, somebody else answer that. I really don't know the name of the song. I really don't know. I did like the song I liked was a Harry Nilsson song, but I don't remember what it was. Just putting a few comments up here. Yeah, that was good that they had these themes and stuff like that. Well, I went to the well, I saw Animal House, and I love Animal House, one of my favorites. The funny thing is, I don't know, I was 16 years old when Animal House came out. That's the perfect age. And I went to see it with some friends, and they all were laughing. I didn't think it was all that. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It's great. Then in later years, I came to love Animal House. And Porky's, I saw it in the movie theater. The only thing I remember was that there was a an X-rated possible scene in there, shot in there or something. But anyway, Blues. I've never seen the Blues Brothers or Blues Brothers 2000. Believe it or not. Don't ask me how that ever happened. That I didn't see it. I don't see those. I don't know. I saw Animal House at a cheap dollar movie theater, and they didn't know how to mask the film, and you saw all the microphones. Somebody told me that. It must have been you. That's something. Blues Brothers. Yep, yep. Yeah, I don't remember anything really great about it, Porky's, honestly. The funny thing is, I found it really cheap, like a couple of dollars on Blu-ray, and I got it back. I got a box with all kinds of movies, that I have to see. And hopefully all those reviews will be up on my movie channel. Do you like blooper reels, or does it ruin the film for you? No, I love blooper reels. Absolutely love them. I wish there were more blooper reels from old stuff, but in the old days, for the most part, they destroyed the blooper reels and the outtakes. I'd like to see more blooper reels from the Three Stooges. Can you imagine seeing Three Stooges outtakes and mistakes and bloopers? Or the old monster movies of Universal Horrors? But luckily, Lou Costello of Abbott and Costello, he loved gag reels and outtakes and bloopers. So he had a whole collection of them. He kept a reel, blooper reels. So thanks to Lou Costello, there are lots of outtakes and bloopers of Abbott and Costello movies. Yeah, I don't remember thinking it was that good. Arthur was a movie I thought was really good. I saw it in the movie theater in 1981, more than once, I think. And I saw it not too long ago again on TV or something. I thought it didn't hold up for me. Yeah, Porky's Revenge, the soundtrack is good, but the movie wasn't so good. Hello, Michael. Did you ever collect lobby cards for movies? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't have a lot of them, but I have some. Not familiar with that offhand. It would be nice to see the Beatles bloopers and outtakes from their films. I remember Victor Spinetti, who was in A Hard Day's Night and Help, and who was also in Magical Mystery Tour. I remember him at the Beatle Fest when I saw him saying, if one could see, if they had the outtakes for these movies, you would believe how funny they'd be. But unfortunately, oh no, they just don't have them. Arthur's your favorite movie, huh? Love the song, Arthur's theme, best that you can do. Christopher Cross. Haven't seen Arthur in ages. Sometimes it's better to hold on to the memory instead of revisiting things. Not always, but sometimes. I agree. I agree. Then sometimes they improve. Like I saw Exorcist 3 with George C. Scott in the movie theater. I thought it sucked. Then I saw it on home video and I thought it was great. Now it's one of my favorite horror related films of all. Exorcist 3. That happens too. Is listening in your car still your go-to when listening to a CD album? Yes, it is, and I love it. The Three Stooges would sometimes be seriously injured. Yes, yes, yes. I remember Larry complained that the pen and the whipped cream stuck him in the forehead. Well, the two most noteworthy ones is the one when, a fountain pen stuck into Larry's head. It was supposed to be, it was on a string, and it was supposed to go through like, I think he had like a paper, something like under the makeup, and it went into his head. And the other one is when Mo broke his ribs. He was standing on a table, and they were carpenters or something. And Curly had a big electric saw, and he sawed the wood, and he sawed the table in half that Mo was standing on, and Mo collapsed. It fell off the table and broke his ribs. My favorite Three Stooges is Shemp, but how about Joe Besser and Joe DeRita? I prefer Besser. So do I. Uh, I like Joe Besser actually considerably more than I like Joe DeRita. I just think Joe Besser, in general, even though he's not the best third stooge, but at least with Joe Besser, he was really more of a seasoned comic. Joe DeRita, I just never thought was funny. Joe DeRita, for those who don't know, at the end of the career was called Curly Joe, but I just never thought he was that funny. Yeah, Exorcist 3 creeps me out big time. Yeah, it's a very, very good movie. Even as a kid, I wondered why anyone would need a pen that writes on the whipped cream. I think that's the joke. That's why it's stupid. I can't imagine any Elephant Man blooper reels. Imagine John Hurt all made up as Joseph Merrick can't do the lines through laughing. What I don't understand is were all Elvis's 29 movies there's never been outtake footage from the films. Uh To Sir with Love. Well, I mean, that's another song, another movie and song. But the movie, I remember seeing bits of it, Sidney Poitier. I never sat down and gave a real dedicated view to the whole thing. My favorite Sidney Poitier movie is, wow, I forget the name of it now. It's so hard when this happens. The Defiant Ones. I like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and The Defiant Ones is very good. Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier. What's your favorite classic Disney movie? I haven't really seen them since I was a child. When I was a child, Pinocchio was my favorite by far, but I haven't seen them since I was a child. I'd like to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs again after this thing that came out. I'd like to see the cartoon again. Have you seen Diner? Yes, I have. Steve Guttenberg and Mickey Rourke. Yes. There's a great scene that all the record collectors know when I don't know, he's married to one guy's married to the wife, and the wife like goes into his record collection and messes it up, puts it out of sequence, and he gets very upset. Don't touch my records. But yeah, it's an okay movie. I haven't seen it in years. Yeah, Lon Chaney's very good in the Defiant Ones. I agree, very good in there. And I like that you say it's best cameo. He's had a lot of. Well, actually, what about him in High Noon? Would you call Chaney a cameo in High Noon? He's very good in that. Do you ever get rid of any of your movie collection? I have like a pile of movies that either I have doubles or that I have movies that I used to have on DVD and I upgraded it to a Blu-ray, or some that I feel I'm never going to watch anymore. And eventually I'm going to go to a used store and see what I can get for them. Not going to be much. Are there any cookbooks that are especially focused on your sort of diet to give you different ideas? I really should try to get into cooking. That's one thing. Of course, my girlfriend would love it, but I just never was interested in cooking. I love that scene in Diner with the records. I feel like that sometimes. Me too. Me too. Elvis was offered the male lead in A Star Is Born with Barbara Streisand, but the Colonel wouldn't let him do it. Right, that Colonel, man, what a bastard. My Favorite Year was another good 80s movie, comedy drama. Yes, Cheney also in High Noon. Yep. The Colonel was probably the worst thing that happened to Elvis. Well, I think so. Of course, in Elvis's mind, he gave him a career. He really helped him and all this. You know, I always say when I'm listening to the song My Way, when I hear Frank Sinatra sing the song My Way, I believe it. I believe Frank did it his way. When I hear Elvis Presley sing My Way, it's a great version. Don't get me wrong. Elvis is one of my favorite singers, but he didn't do it Elvis's way. He didn't do it his own way. He did it the Colonel's way. Oh, well, salad I can make. Sure, I make salad. Of course, Lila. No, that's easy. That's easy. Yeah. The Carnivore Cookbook. Eat meat, drink water. Yes, I got the water part. I'm going to have the meat part probably about 6:15. I'll be eating 6:10. Yep. Can't stay on too much longer, folks. I'm only going to be on about 8 more minutes. So let's get our comments in now. I look forward to all week to this, and then it comes and it's over so quickly. What will you have to complement the fish? Well, see, that's the thing. I don't have anything tonight. Usually I make a salad. We just ran out of salad. I have it in the leaves and everything. We ran out. I usually make a salad and put some olives in there, tomatoes, and a few things. But I probably just have the fish, Lila. That's it tonight. Just a piece of salmon. Nothing else with it. No vegetable. There's actually frozen vegetables in the freezer. I haven't even gotten to that yet. Putting a bag in the microwave or something. Eric says, hi, Eric. I believe that Elvis could have had a good career without the Colonel. There you go. We need a Danny appearance. Well, maybe one of these days we can arrange it. What's a couple of foods you could eat pretty much every day? Pasta. You said spaghetti. That's it. I could eat spaghetti and pizza every day, and I haven't in a long time. I think the last time I had anything like that was probably March 7th. March 7th was the last day. March 8th was when I really got serious, and I haven't strayed. And the fascinating thing is that I don't even want it. You can always get to that point, but it takes time. I've been doing this for over 2 months, so it's getting to the point where I don't even miss it anymore. I'm so high on just achieving what I want to achieve. Although, as I say, there'll be a video somewhere before the month is out this month. I don't know what it's going to be in a week, 2 weeks, whatever, 3 weeks, but there'll be a video. But very interesting things have been going on with that. I don't eat potatoes right now. No starch, no refined sugar, no carbohydrates like that. But I like baked potatoes. I like any kind of potatoes. I like baked potatoes. I like fried. What they call fried potatoes? Yeah. Don't get me started. Do you like the Partridge Family? I like some songs by them. That's about it. Elvis had such great talent that someone else could have managed him and he would have become a big star anyway. I agree. I agree with that. Going back to the Elephant Man, John Hurt was cheated out Best Actor, not the jerk. I guess you know who I mean. I'm not sure that year. Did anyone wish you happy Star Wars Day? No, they didn't. I'm glad because I hate Star Wars. I thought of an idea for a video that I could have made, ranting about Star Wars or something the day after. I didn't realize that the 4th, May 4th, is May the 4th be with you. Next year I'm going to make a video if I remember. May the 4th be with you, but not me. I can imagine Ralph Cramden asking Ed Norton what it means to compliment the fish. Hello there, fish. He really looked nice today. Exactly. Didn't Elvis not tour Europe because the colonel thought he might get arrested over there? I heard that. Hi, John. Sounds like you're doing healthy, living very good. I'm trying, John. Absolutely. What I noticed was if I ate one cheat day, it wiped out any weight loss I had for the week. We'll get into that when I make my next video. I just got done saying I hadn't had pasta or anything like that since March 8th, and I forgot. I went out to dinner on May 2nd. May 2nd, that night, I'll never forget. And I did have, so I take it back because it was a special event. And I went out to a restaurant and I had one plate of pasta after not eating pasta in I don't know how long. And do you know that tripped me up for the next 8 days or so? 7, 8 days. But I'm, believe it or not, when you change diet, it's so hard at the start, but gradually you don't crave things so much. That's exactly it. Oh, I see. De Niro won for Raging Bull. I see what you're saying for that year. Yeah. Almost done here, folks. I got to get ready. I got to make that dinner. Give it a little more time. Yeah, that happened to me too. Star Wars played for 14 months at one of the theaters here. Finally went to see it after 11 months or so. Failed to get what the big deal about it was. See, my whole thing with Star Wars was that I was a big fan of Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes was huge in the 70s. Not just Planet of the Apes, but of course I love the old horror movies, The Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. Then all of a sudden, Star Wars came out and the whole world was taken over by Star Wars. No Planet of the Apes died. My favorite monster magazines, Famous Monsters of Filmland and other magazines, every issue was Star Wars and nothing else. And I was pretty annoyed. And I was 15 years old at the time. Perfect age, right? For Star Wars. And all my friends were raving, "Oh, Star Wars! Oh, it's so great!" They couldn't shut up about it. And then finally, I went to see it, and I didn't think anything of it. Now I don't know if I admit I don't know if part of that was because I had a resistance, like I was kind of being stubborn, and I wasn't really allowing myself to really get into it. I just didn't think it was that big a deal. Years later, when my nephews were small, in I guess the 1990s, sometime the early or mid 90s, they Star Wars came back and so Empire Strikes Back, and I took them and I liked it better then. In other words, these days I can watch Star Wars and I appreciate it a little bit, but I'm still never going to be a big fan. And I still think that the Empire Strikes Back I like better than the first. And I think that I say the first, I know it's the fourth, but you know what I mean. Empire Strikes Back and even Return of the Jedi. Joe, hello, Cherry Carter. Have you watched all the Fly movies? Yeah, yes, I have, and I like Curse of the Fly. The Curse of the Fly is very different from the first one. First two, Return of the Fly. But this year is 50 years since Jaws. Yeah, saw that opening night with my parents in the theater with about 15 other people. A week later, line around the block. Yeah, forget Star Wars. Jaws was it, man. That was it. I saw the original Star Wars in a drive-in theater in '77. Looks like I'm sitting here. I'm extending this a little longer, but I no longer am enamored with Star Wars used to be, but they ruined a lot of it, in my opinion. They did ruin it. The sequels, all these prequels and things, they really screwed it up. They really screwed. I agree with you. I saw too many of them. I saw The Phantom Menace, and I thought that was terrible. It's probably the worst Star Wars film I've seen. And then I saw Attack of the Clones. These are all on DVD. I didn't go to the theater. Then I saw Attack of the Clones. That wasn't bad. I went to see Revenge of the Sith in the movie theater, and I thought that wasn't too bad. But then I saw some other ones, and I keep saying I forget the name of it. And it's the one at the end where you have Carrie Fisher with the fake CGI altered Carrie Fisher, and you have Peter Cushing, the fake. And I thought, this sucks. I'm done. Yep. Fish broiled is better than fried. Well, see, that's the other thing that I'm going to be hearing a lot of when I make videos and things. Well, broiled is probably good, but I'm going to be frying mine. Mine's going to be fried. The thing is, you see, it's like, how do I put this? Like, I'll give you an example. It might be a rant video one day. Like, suppose you're trying to eat differently. You're trying to avoid a lot of, fattening stuff, a lot of carbs and things, sugar, things like that. So I make myself a tuna salad in a bowl. I put onions in there, right? Chop some onions, put some basil in there and dill weed. I put some dill in there, and then I put the mayonnaise in there. People are like, you put mayonnaise in there? Oh, forget it. You can't. There's calories in that. It's like, listen, I'm not having pizza. I'm not having bread. I'm not having soda. I'm not having candy. I'm not having chocolate, cake, pies, cookies. I'm not having pasta. I'm not having lasagna. And, give me a break. I'll damn well put a couple of spoons of freaking mayonnaise in my tuna fish. Give me a break. That's how I feel about the fish. I mean, maybe you mean broiled fish tastes better than fried, but if it's a health thing, look, all I'm going to have for dinner tonight is a little piece of salmon, and that's it, and I'll fry it. No potatoes, no nothing else. Okay, hi Mark. Yeah, I've heard about this. Susie Rodolo. I used to say Rotolo, then they said Rodolo, but whatever. Was credited with compiling the recordings for Tennis Swords, etc., etc. Yeah, I've heard about that too. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I heard that. I did. It says that in the booklet. There's a booklet in here, and in the booklet it says that. There you go. I got to get ready to sign off here, folks. Pretty fast. Good to talk to everybody here. Or as I like to say, Miracle Whip. Now, that's a whole other debate. A lot of people hate Miracle Whip. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I like Miracle Whip better than mayonnaise. And I'll tell you this. Do you know that Miracle Whip is only 40 calories per tablespoon, whereas Hellmann's mayonnaise is 90 calories per tablespoon? Yeah. Yep. Believe it or not. And I don't get it. I don't get the disdain for Miracle Whip. I don't get it. It's a little sweetness, a little tanginess. It's so good. Anyway, that's what goes in my tuna. Let's put it that way. I use Chosen Food Mayo with avocado oil, which is not a seed oil. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that too. Seed oils. Don't use seed oils. Again, it's impossible to avoid everything, and I don't know. I guess that's easy enough. Yeah, yellow mustard. Yeah, yes, exactly. Yep. Marinates chicken with yellow mustard before cooking it in the oven. Very, very good. Here's the thing about the sequel. The sequel to American Graffiti pretty much sucks. However, there's still some fun to be had in it. I don't know if you know. There are different vignettes in there. There's a story about what's going on with Ron Howard and his wife, Cindy Williams. They have a story. John Milner, the the race driver has a story. Debbie, the girl, the blonde, she has a story. The best story is the Toad, Charles Martin Smith with the glasses. He gets stuck in Vietnam. And to me, I like watching this Vietnam story. I think the Vietnam story is good. All right, folks, I got to get going here. Who will have the best duet with Streisand, Dylan, or McCartney? It's got to be Paul, but these days, who knows? All right, thank you so much, folks. I'm sorry I got to go. I love doing this, and please, come back next time. I'll try to do it every Saturday or whenever. Who knows? I may pop up with surprise ones. If any of you are interested, I'm going to be doing the movie show again. One more time, I'll flash it on here. The movie show is over here at Mr. Cinemayo, and I should be on there with Tom Hunyadi and Tim Allen. Sometimes one of them can't make it. It's just two of us or whatever. But the new time that I'm trying to do for this show, the movie show, as movies and television entertainment like that, the time that I do that, going to do that is Monday nights, 8:30. Did I say 9 before? Well, anyway, if I said 9, it was wrong. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:30 Eastern, Monday night on Mr. Cinemayo, the movie show. So once again, I appreciate it, everybody. Talk soon. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you